Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be taking you guys along as I go wash my car, and I will be talking to you guys about the products I use and the process that I use to wash it. Yeah, let's get into it. Hey guys, so we're back home. Let me start off by just saying, in Germany, you're not allowed to wash your car at home. So basically, there's no driveway, get a pressure washer, wash it yourself. That's not a thing here. You always have to go to a wash box. And it's pretty difficult to find one where you're allowed to bring your own stuff, but thankfully, there's one really close to me that lets you do that. Since there's nobody working there, so nobody can tell you to go away if you bring all your own buckets and equipment, which is great. The process for me basically, I always start off with the wheels because they're the dirtiest, and then I rinse them down, so make them wet, then spray them down with wheel cleaner. Following that, scrub them down with a brush for the faces of the wheel. Usually I also have another brush for the barrel. I forgot it today, of course, which is great. And then when I'm done that, I scrub down the tires to make sure they're clean for tire dressing at the end of my cleaning job. Then I move on to the car. First, I spray the bugs because there's a lot of bugs when driving on the Autobahn. If you saw my driving on the Autobahn video, if not, you can click up here somewhere to check it out. And yeah, so there's always a ton of bugs, so I always put bug remover on first, then let that set for about, I'd say 3-4 minutes. Recommended is 5, but I don't know. I feel like if you put it on for too long, it's gonna start damaging the ceramic coating or the paint, so I'm kind of scared to do that. Yeah, then when that's done, I rinse the whole car down. So basically just wet it all down, try to get off the major dirt pieces so I don't rub anything in when I'm washing the car. And then after that, since again, you can't have a pressure washer at home, so you can't have a foam cannon, I got this Gloria Pro 2 foam blaster. It's really good at basically you just put some soap in it, put water in it, pump it up, and then it does basically the same thing as a foam cannon. The only problem is it's a little harder because you got to pump it up every 5 seconds to get a good amount of foam out of there, but it works pretty well. It's a good alternative. Then after that, I let that set for about a minute or so, let it work in, and then we get on to the washing phase. So I have a 2 bucket method, which I always highly recommend. So 1 bucket with soap and 1 bucket with clean water to rinse off the wash mitt in when I'm done going over the car. And so yeah, basically wash mitt goes into the soap bucket. Then start all the way at the top of the car, straight lines. I never do swirls because swirls will leave swirl marks in the car, in the paint or in the clear coat. And it's way easier to get out straight lines than swirls when you are polishing. Even if any scratches would occur, it would be much easier to get them out. So yeah, start at the top of the car. Depending on how dirty the car is, I usually like to do the roof, then the windshield and the rear glass, and then yeah, work my way from there then, Put it in the clean water, rinse it off, rub it on the bottom on the grate to remove the bigger chunks of dirt, and that's why you always have the grates in the bottom of the buckets as well. So you can rub off the dirt and it'll stay under there and stay trapped so you're not bringing it back up with your wash mitt and then rubbing it on your paint to damage it, right? Then when I'm done going over the entire car, I rinse it off again with water. Make sure I get all the soap off so none of it dries on there after because that could leave some marks. Not a big deal with the soap I'm using because it's pH neutral, but still good idea to do. And after that, then basically dry it all down. I like to use separate towels for the glass and always do the glass first because that annoys me the most when I'm driving and I can see watermarks on the glass. For me, it's the most annoying thing ever. So basically, first step, always dry down the glass. Um, Make sure it's all nice and clean with no streaks or anything. And then I move on to doing the car. For the car, I have one huge drying cloth. One huge drying cloth, which I got from Microfiber Madness. That's basically the only place I get all my microfiber stuff from. My wash mitt, my drying cloth. It's a little more expensive than normal microfiber products, but I feel the quality is way, way better. It's insane how good the quality is. So yeah, then I dry everything off. I usually don't dry off my wheels because I feel like in 10 minutes they're gonna get full of brake dust anyways, so I usually leave them dry unless, or leave them wet unless I'm going to a show right after or something. Other than that, I feel like they basically are clean, and they, even when the water dries, it's fine. You don't really see anything, especially since mine are matte, so you never really notice any watermarks. And that's basically that. That's the whole process. So let's start off talking about brushes, wheel brushes in particular. So since it's pretty hard to get different brands in Germany, the brands I have for my wheel brush and tire brush are both Meguiar's. But basically, for the rim, just make sure it's a brush that has long, nice, soft bristles. For the tires, something shorter and nice and hard to be able to scrub the tire nicely. Then I also have a smaller black brush. Doesn't really matter again what brand it is, as long as the bristles are nice and soft, to get into the hard to reach areas like the brake caliper and the lugs of the rim. After that, you've got the longer brush to get into the barrel of the wheel. I like to use the Speedmaster brush is the one I have. I've tried out several other ones, and I feel like this one is the easiest to use. It's long enough that you're not banging your knuckles on the rim all the time, which is insanely annoying. It does a great job. It's super simple. You don't have to put a lot of pressure. It does a great job foaming up and cleaning everything up. Next, for my wash mitt, as I said, I buy them all from Microfiber Madness. Same thing with my microfiber towels for drying the car. Basically, I would recommend, if anything that you're doing on the car that requires a towel, use a microfiber towel. If you're using anything else, there's a way higher chance that you're going to be scratching or marring the paint. Marring is basically light scratches that makes the paint look dull and not nice and shiny anymore. So now talking about soaps, I use CarPro Reset. It's especially good for ceramic coatings, which I have on my car. I have one from Ceramic Pro, which needs to be maintained, which is why I use CarPro Reset. It's really nice on the paint. It's pH neutral, so it's not affecting anything or damaging anything, and it basically just sets everything back to its original state and increasing the water beading, which you guys, I'm sure, can see in the video. Also, one thing I can really highly recommend is called P&S Bead Maker. If you have a ceramic coating, if you don't have one, doesn't matter. It's the best thing I've ever put on my car. It's basically a sealant that makes the paint, glass, everything, wherever you put it on. You can put it on your leather, you can put it on your carpets, the paint, the glass, doesn't matter, everything. Your wheels, makes it really nice and shiny. The water beads off so well, it's crazy. Much better than even just my ceramic coating. And it lasts 3 months, so initially you have to put it on dry, which is a little more work, but then after that, you put it on every 3 months. Just top it off every month if you can, but I do it every 3, it doesn't really matter. If you want to keep it looking super duper good, you can do it every month, but it doesn't matter. And so once you've already initially put it on, all you do is you spray it on before you dry. So when the car is still wet, spray it on. It also helps remove the water off the paint, and then you just dry it off, buff it, and you're good to go. And it's insane. Already today was, the last time I put it on was about 2 weeks ago, which is the last time I washed my car. And the car went through the rain, had water spots all over it. Already then, just when I was going over with the pressure washer, it was insane how much the water was beating off. The car was basically dry after. Like, it was crazy. Now for bug remover and wheel cleaner, I like to use Dr. Whack bug remover and Dr. Whack wheel cleaner. Both are amazing. I used to use Adams Polish's wheel cleaner for my wheels, and I found it was good. But the Dr. Whack, you basically, if you didn't want to, you didn't even have to scrub the wheels, and they would be perfectly clean after. It's pretty insane. You can really tell that it's doing a lot with the iron remover because it has built-in iron remover. Same with Adams Polishes. The wheel cleaner turns purple when it's reacting with the iron to also indicate that it's working. And I find with the Dr. Whack, it's insane how purple it gets. So you can really tell it's doing something. And it's super concentrated. So if your wheels aren't that dirty, you can even dilute it 50-50, 50% wheel cleaner, 50% water, and then you have basically double the amount. And it's cheaper, at least when you're in Germany. It's really cheap. Other than that, there's nothing really else I use. I'll talk about the interior another time. That's a whole nother story. But for the most part, the exterior is the most important. I try to wash it every week. Sometimes it ends up being every 2 weeks. But in the end, depends how clean you want your car to be, how often you drive, if it's in the garage, if it's outside. You know, try to do it at least once a month, I would say, if you want to keep your paint looking nice and not having to end up polishing it in the future or something even worse. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this and see my future videos, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get notified when I upload a new video. Every Sunday at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 8 p.m. if you're in Germany or in Europe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week.